I'm Myriam.
And I'm Elyse. Two friends bound by the love of books.
Taking on the world one chapter at a time. This is the Book Bound Besties podcast. Hey, Book Bound Besties! Welcome to episode 6.5 of season 1 of the Book Bound Besties podcast. Today, we are giving you our second bonus episode of the season. We don't have any others planned.
Yeah.
We are talking about Fourth Wing, chapter 16, from Xaden's perspective. So
Yes.
the first bonus episode was chapter 9 from Xaden's perspective, and this is chapter 16.
Yeah.
And this chapter did not disappoint.
Oh my God. It was funny because I knew we were going to do this.
Yeah.
Reading chapter 16, like the original version of Fourth Wing, I was like, I knew we were doing the bonus chapter. So I knew that like Xaden's POV was coming. And I was like reading it and I was like, this is a perfect chapter to have his.
Right?
Like, I want to know
What's
everything.
going on in his
like,
mind?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
like, oh, just when he loses his cool, like just, I knew it was going to be a good one. I knew we were in for a good one.
I already feel my cheeks like hurting from the giant smile on my face, and like it's going to stay there for the next like half hour.
Yeah.
I know it.
So good.
Okay, let's get into it before we get carried away.
Synopsis. Dain accuses Xaden of interfering in threshing. So Xaden goes for the kill, exposing Dain for the ass that he is. We see that Xaden's attraction to Violet has only grown more intense, and that he now has even more reason to be protective. It takes all his strength to only stand by and watch as Dain plants a kiss on Violet. Just the synopsis. I'm so excited.
I know. Okay, as with chapter 9, as with the chapter 9 bonus content, we don't have a pre-chapter blurb, but who cares? Like, we just want to get into
Let's
it.
get some good stuff.
We've been in Xaden's gorgeous head, and we just want to get back in there. So, all right.
So the chapter starts out with
Yeah.
Dain is accusing Xaden of changing the outcome of threshing.
Yeah. And actually before that, he's observing the Dain-Violet interaction, and he's like, I'm going to stay out of it. Dragons don't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep vibes.
Yeah.
But when he notices that Dain grabs her, I pointed this out in our normal discussion, like our normal episode, that this is a really aggressive move on Dain's part.
And his alarms like go off right away.
Yeah,
He was like, what the? Yeah.
100%. I hadn't even like thought about that the first couple of times I read this book. And I hadn't, even on the third time around, I didn't put two and two together that Dain is grabbing her really close to her injured arm, but Xaden notices right away.
Yeah.
And this is what spurs him into action. He's like,
He's hurting her.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then right away again, like he did last time, like mental shields slam down. Just like nobody's going to mess with me. I need to deal with this.
Yeah, exactly. I just felt so vindicated when he goes, please give me a reason to beat the pompous codex loving shit out of him just once.
Yes.
Like he's at the end of his tether with Dain, as are we. It was just awesome.
Also, actually, with the whole mental shield thing, he says it's also to keep Dain out.
Well, that's the whole purpose of it.
I always thought it was to keep Sigale out.
Oh, well, not really, because
he ends up talking to her.
Yeah, he talks to her the whole time. It's really for Dain, because Dain's signet power is being able to retrieve memories, so he wants to protect his memories.
Right.
We don't know why yet, but
Well, we know he's up to something.
he's definitely up to something. And we get another glimpse, as he's approaching them, of his relationship with Sigale, and it's very motherly, and I love it. Like, she's reminding him, like, it's not worth it, just like don't let him get under your skin. I just can imagine your mom, like when you're, I don't know, I guess like even like when I was in high school and I'd like talk to my mom about stuff that happened to me or whatever, and she'd be like, well, actually that's not true. My mom got like mad with me. But like what my mom should have done was be like, don't worry. It's fine.
But it's funny because like we were talking last episode, like Taryn became this like protective dad, and then you have Sigale,
like the mom.
Like, it's a cute little family they've got going.
I know. Like a bit incestuous though.
Well, they're not actually related. So.
Yeah, thank God. As Xaden is taking an inventory of all of Violet's little like bobos, he has to control himself from checking her out properly. And I was just like, oh, okay. I really wonder, this is like a guy written by a woman, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of other times you get a POV, like I'm thinking of Crescent City, I'm thinking of Silver Flames in particular. When you get, like, I love the way that like the guy's point of view is like referring to the woman. Yeah. And I just truly wonder if guys really think like this, and I have a feeling they don't.
No,
but like it's nice to dream.
I'm sure like Sometimes, yeah, but I don't know. Like, I feel like it's a romanticized view of what men think.
I'll go with it. It's all good.
Yeah.
When Xaden properly looks into Violet's eyes, he notices that there's like fear in them.
Yeah.
And Xaden thinks that it's fear for Dain.
For Dain, yeah, to protect Dain.
Exactly. But what we know, because we've read the chapter from her POV, is that it's actually fear for Xaden, because Xaden did interfere. Like, whatever Dain is accusing him of, Dain's kind of got his finger on the pulse. Like, he knows. And now they're just kind of trying to cover their tracks and explain away, like, what actually happened.
I know. But I mean, I know I was saying, okay, his presence was interference. It was.
Yeah.
But, like, and he didn't actually interfere because he wasn't given the chance to. He was going to.
Yeah.
But he didn't. So technically, no rules were broken.
Well, he did speak to the bullies, so maybe that could be considered interference.
Yeah.
And he did warn Violet of the attack. Was it Oren or Tina Tynan who was attacking her from behind? Somebody was attacking her from behind, and he yells out.
warns it. Yes, so in that part, he did interfere. Like, directly interfered there. All of it was kind of interference. I just don't know what, like, the codex hard line is.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think it's up to interpretation. So Xaden calls her, and he always has, like, these really funny ways to refer to her, but he calls her a pint-sized morsel of straight-up arsenic. And what a call-out. I thought that was so funny. It's such a clever and unique... It's not even an insult. Like, I don't know what it is.
I also love that, like, he never sees her as breakable.
Yeah.
He sees her strengths, and, like, anytime he comes up with names or, like, violence like that, like, anytime he is thinking about her, like, he just looks at her strengths and never looks at her as, like, something to, like, who cannot protect themselves.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even if you think about, he has Imogen, like, train her, it's not from a place of having been resigned to the fact that she's weak. He's like, okay, this is a weakness, but we're going to work on it, and that's all.
This is the problem. This is the solution.
Absolutely.
Very much like the way Violet thinks, because she's like, these are my shortcomings. This is how I'm going to work around them. Like, they're very practical, and they take action.
Yeah. It's true. That's a good point.
It's a nice compliment. They complement each other in that way.
They do. I also noted his priorities are in order. Like, he knows Violet almost died, but Dain is more concerned about the rules. And, like, for him, he's just like, dude, like, where do your priorities lie? Like, where, I don't know. It was just, again, a very clear demonstration of, like, who these two men are and what they're willing to do for the people they care about. And I just think that that's really important. When Xaden is having this emotional outburst, an argument with Dain, he's pretty much throwing Sigale under the bus for having involved Taryn, and Sigale's having none of it. She's like, you did not just drag me into this. And she's, like, calling him out about getting emotional about Violet, and now I'm just a pile of literal mush because Xaden says that in 1 second on that field, my attitude toward violence changed from maybe I'll kill her or maybe I won't to protect her at all costs.
Yes, I know. It stuck with me.
I am a hopeless romantic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is so amazing. But then he's like, oh, it's not because she's amazing. It's because of Taryn. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but that's not true. Like, I feel like like I was saying last episode as well, like, he's using it almost as an excuse because he's not, like, admitting his full, like, feelings
for her.
Yeah. Like, he's in denial about the situation, or still kind of conflicted about the situation.
Yeah.
But, like, now that he has to protect her because it'll come back to him, like, through Taryn, through Sigale, it's kind of just like an excuse. Like, it's
plausible deniability.
Yeah. He's allowing himself to care now about Violet under that guise.
Yeah, I guess.
But, like, I see right through you.
Yeah. So then he gives this, like, little speech about bending the rules, and Sigale's commentary and all this is just top notch. Like, they argue mind to mind, and when she goes, let's not embarrass each other by letting you finish that sentence, it's like, wow, I want a Sigale in my life. Like, I love to be called out. I tell Elise all the time, like, my siblings make fun of me all the time, and it, like, makes me so happy. I love it when people, I know it's super bizarre, but I just feel so seen when someone, because when somebody can make fun of you, obviously, like, in a joking and lighthearted way, not in a mean way.
No, but when a joke is made at your expense, but it's because the person sees the true you.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Like, it is the best feeling.
So there you go. So that's why I want a Sigale in my life, because I want somebody like in my head doing that.
Yeah. It's funny because I was saying like, oh, I wouldn't want anyone in my head. Like, there's enough thoughts in my head, which is like true. But the way what we've seen with the dragons between Taryn and Sigale, like, they're such nice voices to have in your head.
Yeah.
Like positive influences or
Yeah.
just like a joking banter. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, you know what? Maybe it's not that bad.
I don't think it's that bad. I would take it. Then in a show of utter male dominance, Xaden orders Dain to answer him. And I will never get over that. Like, we've established there are things that are acceptable in books that are not acceptable in real life. And like, this utter dominance is, whew.
But it's also, it's like, it's to show Dain's true colors to Violet.
Yes.
Because he's like, she needs to see this guy for what he really is.
Yes.
Like, Xaden sees it.
Yes. And like, he kind of camouflages his intention behind this as like, oh, this is like to protect me. And because we're living together. But it's really not. It's because he's jealous.
Yeah. Well.
And when he says, Xaden says that the pained look on Violet's face is as if someone shredded her favorite book, I'm like,
Again,
he
because
sees her.
he sees her. Just the fact that that's the remark he chooses to make. It's like, you get her so well.
I know. It's great. They walk away and they're still arguing. And now he's kind of taking inventory of their surroundings. And basically he's acting like a human shield around her, like steering her away from the path of collision. And he thinks she'll stand up to 3 armed bullies to defend the smallest dragon, but she won't watch where the fuck she's walking.
Yeah. It's funny. I mean, again, he's frustrated with her and stuff. But before they walk away, he feels guilty. Like, he does the thing.
Yeah.
He makes Dain admit it.
Yeah.
And seeing the look
how
on,
it impacts her.
He feels guilty, which like only strengthens how he feels
about her.
Because he's like, I never feel guilt. Like, what is this? Like, she's stirring up feelings in him that like he just has never felt before. And it's like,
we like that.
But yeah, and then they walk away, and then he's like helping her dodge.
Yeah, exactly.
Humans.
Like the humans and people landing and whatever. And then he stares into her eyes and notices that the blue in her eyes is highlighted now that she's angry. Side note, that is so cool.
Yeah.
I want my eyes to change
on your mood. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then Sigale is like, oh, who's getting mushy now?
But the whole time, like, he notices, like, her eyes, her lips, like, everything, all the little details.
Her butt.
Like, her butt. Yep. Yeah. The attraction has only, like, gotten more.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. For sure. I think that it's the level of description is so much more thorough in chapter 16 from
than
his
it
point of
was
view than in chapter 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I mean, part of it, too, I think, is, like, wanting what you can't have. He hasn't fully admitted that he, I guess, wants her. Like, he knows. But, like,
he's not letting himself
he's not letting him get there, but like the fact that he can't have her because he has decided to put up that wall is only making it worse.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like in this chapter we're getting a real parallel, like you were saying before about the relationship with Violet and Taryn and and the relationship between Xaden and Sigale. Like, both humans are being called out for their feelings.
Yeah.
And like for masking those feelings with something else. And I just think it's really funny that like they are behaving in the exact same way and their dragons are behaving in the exact same way.
I'd love to see like the conversation between Taryn and Sigale.
Yeah.
Like just be like, oh my God, these kids. Like, why won't they just admit it to themselves?
I know. But Xaden's having none of it. He's like, this is no, like, please not, please don't. And he threatens to volunteer for the cold weather missions. And she's like, rude, just because you can't control your hormones, like, shouldn't mean that I get uncomfortable in the cold. I know. And I just like, she's so sassy good. And I love it.
Their banter was great. And then at the end of that, tail end of that, he says, she will be my downfall.
Foreshadowing?
That is how much power she has over him.
Well, I mean, he did say when they were sparring about how she had that extra weapon in her arsenal. Then Xaden takes a good look at Violet and he catalogs her qualities. And he said he notices her soft skin, her sharp mind, her fierce temper. She's deadly with a dagger and she's brave to a fault. And I'm just like, he sees her, he sees her, he sees her. Yeah. And I just, sometimes call me crazy, but sometimes I like ask Justin, like, can you just say nice things to me? Sometimes like, if I'm feeling down or like whatever, if I'm emotional, and I was like, can you just like say nice things?
Yeah. So words of affirmation is your thing?
Usually it's acts of service.
Okay.
But every now and then it's just like I hit a mood and I'm just like, I just need to hear nice things.
Tell me why you love me.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be like, how much do you love me? And he'll be like, oh. This again.
That's so funny.
After Taryn and Andarna come back to await the decision of whether Violet will get to keep both dragons, we get another glimpse of the Xaden and Garrick relationship. Yeah. And Garrick is actually so funny.
He's so funny. He's like making digs at him the whole time.
Yeah.
Like Garrick sees it too. He's like, dude.
I know. When he's like, oh, I've seen corpses more fine than you. And it's just like called out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing.
And like Xaden the whole time is just like, shut up. Shut up. It's so good.
It's so funny.
It's a great dynamic.
Yeah. Then we get this really juicy piece of information because we get the visual of the bond between Dragon and Ryder, and we find out now that Xaden also has a bond with Violet and with Taryn. So this is going to be interesting because right now the bond that he has with Sigil allows them to talk mind to mind. So what does the rest of it mean, you know?
I was like, what? Like I was sitting there reading and my jaw actually dropped. I was like, oh my God, they have a connection. Like that's so cool. It was very, very exciting info. And also mini ACOTAR spoiler.
Mind to mind.
Rhys and Feyre.
Yeah, absolutely. So Xaden now, you know, he's watching everyone around him. He's talking to Garrick, and he comes to the realization that he cannot physically be with Violet all the time. And we see this really interesting dynamic between Xaden and Garrick because Garrick is like a little feminist. And I love it. Mm-hmm. Here's to Garrick, our emotionally mature and feminist king, because he's like, you know, she can protect herself. Like, you don't need to have somebody like watching her all the time. But he's like, but if you insist, everyone likes Liam. So I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah. And Xaden gets jealous of Liam. And Liam is like his brother. Like they grew up together. Yeah.
And Garrick sees it on his face right away. And he's like, don't worry. He won't sleep with her. Yeah. It's fine.
Exactly.
Which probably actually only pissed off Xaden more.
Probably. But I'm just like, can they just get together already? Because Violet is jealous of Xaden and Imogen. Yeah. And he's jealous of her and Liam. Even though like they haven't even
had that connection yet. Yeah. Like I know.
I don't know. I just think Garrick is so smart and sensitive, and he already knows that Xaden has it so bad for Violet, and he's like, don't worry, like, it's going to be fine. And then he sees the whole exchange of Dain with the rebellion relic, and I don't know how to describe this conversation, but it actually feels kind of like a conversation girls would have.
Okay. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, in the best way. Yeah. Where you're just like, let's say we're together. Yeah. And I see the boy you like. Yeah. And he's, like, behind you, and I'm like, don't look. Like, he's there, like, cool. You know? Yeah, so I feel like the conversation that was that vibe exactly. I just thought that it was funny.
That's funny. But Xaden cannot handle watching Dain.
No.
Like, I mean, he already doesn't like the guy, but then, like, Dain is unlacing her vest to see the relic and, like,
which is very intimate, like we've already said.
Yeah. But now from Xaden's view, like he is fuming.
Absolutely.
Like very protective. Like, yeah.
And he absolutely loses his mind when Dain and Violet kiss and he goes, how dare he kiss the mouth he wouldn't bend a rule to protect. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. Like, what a sentence. Like, what a...
But right before that...
Yeah.
Dain grabs Violet's face. And Xaden's thought right before the kiss is... No doubt he's pilfering through her memories to see if I interfered.
Oh my gosh, that didn't even, like I didn't even register that. I was so,
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like I forgot that was even a possibility. And then I was like, oh my God, if that actually is what he was doing, or even if it wasn't for those memories, but every time he grabs her face, he's going through her freaking head. Oh my God.
So I was waiting a really long time to bring this up to you. And I'm glad you brought this up on your own because there are people on the internet who, after having read Fourth Wing, catalog every single time Dain and Violet touch. And because I believe, but we've already established like my reading comprehension is subpar. But I believe that the only way that Dain can access someone's memories is by touching their face, their temple, because that's how he says it in chapter 1.
That's what he says, yeah.
But some people hypothesize that maybe over the course of the year, his signet powers get developed and you touch anywhere and he can grab your memories. Who knows? But people catalog every single time that they touch and they are like, did he go in there? Did he?
But to be honest, even if let's say it doesn't count when he touches her arm or her shoulder or whatever. Let's say it is just her face. He touches her face a lot.
Yeah. I know. And you're going to notice it even more now going
and
forward.
That's what, if that is what he's doing, like, what a snake. Like, I am so mad, Myriam. I am so mad. Like, it's just.
It's going to get worse.
I know. I have to compose myself. The lines he is crossing, like, I can't even form thoughts.
It's an invasion of privacy.
It's a huge invasion of privacy.
Yes.
She is supposed to be one of his best friends. Like, how dare he cross that line? And like,
because he cares about the rules more than he cares about anything else. It's obvious.
But
that's the answer. That's the answer.
If it is in fact to check out the rules, but I feel like I'd have to go back and look at all the times he touches her face. Was it always directly after something that could have been like he wanted to snoop about rules? Like, I don't know that. I think he's just like he crossed the line of being overbearing.
Maybe.
Anyway, it's very upsetting. And this is all just based on a line that Xaden said. And like, technically, I wouldn't have read this line reading the book. So I wouldn't have known. Or maybe I would have like thought about it on my own eventually. But like, it changes the game so much. And I'm just floored and so mad. Yeah.
But it's like not really spoilery because it's just all this is doing. Because, chapter 9 that I made you read, that was spoilery. That was a big mistake. This, like, we won't have to put a spoiler warning on this.
No, I know that.
No, I'm just saying. All this is doing, all that line is doing is bringing to the fore something we already know. It's just reminding us.
I know.
So,
but I had forgotten.
No, I know.
But that bit of information like changes the Dain Violet dynamic.
Absolutely.
Like even more, like so much more.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyway,
so
then he kisses her.
Yeah, and Garrick notes how green Xaden looks, and he calls him out saying that in 20 years, I don't think I've ever seen you jealous before. This is such a great friendship, and I'm just so happy that we have Garrick in our lives. Like, he's just...
all while laughing at him fully.
Oh, yeah.
He's just like...
There's no compassion. None.
Because, like, he knows exactly what Xaden's feeling, and he's just, like, laughing at him. It's so funny. I love it.
But you know what? Maybe he's, like, doing this the same way that Xaden kind of, like, embarrasses, quote-unquote, Violet to propel her forward into action. Like, maybe this is Garrick's way of propelling Xaden into, like... getting with Violet.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe
that's how I choose to believe it.
Yeah, maybe
he's not just making fun of him for the sake of making fun of him.
Yeah, do something about it.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Awards. Romance. There's no rule in this godforsaken college that would keep me from saving Bodhi's, Garrick, or Liam's life, and now hers.
Yeah, Bodhi is his cousin.
I just wasn't sure if I was saying it correctly.
I love that name. Okay, I completely agree. I think that's beautiful. My most romantic line is Xaden saying he doesn't deserve to breathe the same air as Violence. She's half his size and 1,000 times braver. I just get like so giddy and like a little schoolgirl, and I'm just here like clutching my hands, and I'm just like, oh.
So funny award. He knows how much you dislike her and how often you stare. I will volunteer for every cold weather mission in existence if you... Rude. So yeah, the banter between Xaden and Sigale was just perfect.
Yeah. My funniest line is when he calls her a pint-sized morsel of straight-up arsenic. I just thought that was just great.
What a string of words.
I know, really. Rebecca Yarros, you are a literary genius.
Spicy award. Not thinking about the best angle to kiss her either, or what her perfect ass would feel like in my hands.
I had that one at first, but then, like, it would have been my spiciest line, but oddly, the spiciest line for me is Dain fucking Atos has his mouth on my Violence.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's, like, not actually spicy.
But it's, like, it's almost like in that moment he is claiming his attraction to her.
And I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. Please rate this podcast and leave a review. It'll help other people find us. You can follow us on Instagram at Book Bound Pod and on TikTok at Book Bound Besties. please tag us in your reaction videos if you're reading along with us, or if you have literally anything to say. We just love talking to people in our DMs. It's really fun.
A lot of fun.
And if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please email us at bookboundpod@gmail.com. Let's get to reading.